everybody, I'm Bill Sanders, and this is WatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection. Today, we're going to take a look at Sameh's um, collection. I hope I pronounced it right. It's Sameh. So let's take a look at it. Now this collection, we're going to sort of start at we might say the end, okay? And so by starting off with, let's say, the least noble of the collection, and then we're going to go and have a surprise at the end. I think it's a surprise anyway. Had a lot of fun with this collection, by the way. Okay, well, the first group is sort of a miscellaneous grab bag. These are a lot of watches, and they're watches that we all have. We see something and we go and buy it. The You have a lot of quartz. There's a Seiko quartz and West End watch and something Jeffrey, what I can't pronounce, is two at the bottom down there. And there's a Tissot that looks like something you'd take to a track meet or something like that. These are tend to be quartz, and Samus just has them. I've got a bunch of stuff like this too, and I try not to buy too much of it because it's, to me, really, it's if you're going to collect good watches and stuff. These are simply distractions, but I understand how you see something, you want it, and you go and you get it, okay? Okay, well, that's the first group. The second group is Sammy's family, and he got the Tissot for his wife. It's called a Flak, the pink one. I think that would be for the daughter. And then his son, for his son's birthday, he got him a Seiko 5 Sports. That's an automatic, and that's a nice one. The one at the bottom. I asked away to kid. I think it was about his 13th birthday or something, and got him a nice Seiko. I think that's a nice thing. Anyway, getting your kids involved. All right. Now this next group is Samus's divers group. They're all Seikos, and there's some differences. There's a I suppose there's the main differences seem to be in style and color, and they're automatics, and they're different kinds of divers watches. One of the things about divers watches, excuse me, is that most people use them as sort of a general everyday kind of watch, and I think one of the magazines was talking about people that worked at this watch magazine, they love divers, but they refer to themselves as desk divers. So I don't know whether Sameth is a diver or not, but he's got a nice little collection there of Seiko divers watches. My opinion on this: if I were into divers watches, I'd try to have a little more variety other than Seiko. Just for the differences in a Doxa, for example, Doxas makes a very interesting and very affordable divers watch. So you have some mix in there, but that's okay. This is a nice little selection. Okay, now the next group is now we're really moving up scale, I think, in my opinion. Now these are vintage watches, but they're really nice vintage watches, I think. First of all, we have the Omega de Ville, and these are from like sort of the 70-ish era. The one at the top, the de Ville, captures sort of that style of the 70s. The one at the bottom, the Omega Geneve, is more of like if you went to Central Casting and you said, I'm making a movie, I need a standard dress watch. That's the one they'd have for you. I'm making a standard movie for the 1970s. That's a nice one. I mean, it's both of them have um, the dial only, no numbers on them, and the Geneve has a date window at 3 o'clock. And but the one the DeVille I really like. That's sort of like a smooth looking watch. Okay, now this next watch is when I first saw this, it looked like a typical vintage watch. A few years ago, my father died, and he left some watches, and he gave them to my brother. And I remember this one Bulova that he had forever. And when I saw this, I thought, that's looks like the kind of watch. I think there was a ban on my dad, but otherwise, it's sort of thing. And this belonged to Sameth's grandfather, who gave it to his uncle, who gave it to Sameh. And just looking at it's a Longines, and I was thinking, okay, no big deal. But this is where, to me, the story gets really, really interesting, and it opens up a whole wonderful world of vintage watch collection. What he did with it, he went down to the Longines dealer. This is in Alexandria, Egypt, by the way, and he's told them, he said he wanted the thing totally revamped back to the original. And what they did to it was incredible. Plus, they gave a certificate of authenticity to him. And, look, it's just gorgeous. What a cool thing. Here's a watch that belonged to his grandfather, totally, brought back to a state of new. Now, Whitnauer, part of it was Whitnauer. I wasn't sure about the back of it. And so this is what he got from Longines. They sent him a note. They say, please be kindly informed that I'm going to mess this up, my French. Please be kindly informed that La Compagnie de Montes Longines Francione S.A. produced the movement of your watch and sold it to Whitnauer for the dressing. Indeed, your caseback is the original belonging to this watch. It is a Whitnauer one, and this model has been registered as a Whitnauer in the United States. In other words, the Longines were using Whitnauer cases. I just thought that's a neat story. So here you start off with this, it's sort of relic almost of a watch in a vintage watch, and so many of them look that way. And then to bring it back to this state, to get this information about it, to me, it puts a wonderful spin on vintage watch collection, and I just think that's the neatest thing in the world. Okay, now Sameh asked. She said, "Look, you got any suggestions for me?" Yeah, I do. I see two different directions that you could go with this. Uh, First of all, and again, I have no idea what it cost for this kind of restoration. I mean, this was a wonderful restoration, and I can't imagine that they did it, without some kind of compensation. Let me put it that way. So that may be a fairly expensive one, but now that you sort of got a tag on it, that might be a way to go. Is that end up with a collection of watches that look brand new with all the paperwork that are vintage, and new, the new strap and everything on it. So I think that's one way to go. The other way to go is to try kicking it up a little. Okay, you got enough Seiko dive watches. You don't need more of those. And here, you might want to try, and perhaps with vintage, something like looking at some Audemars Piguet, Jaeger-LeCoultre, uh, even Elise Nardine. Just sort of try to tip it up just to the next level. Now, I know that can be expensive, but since you're dealing with vintage, it's something that you might think of. Let me grab something really quickly here to show you what I have in mind. This is my Patek Philippe. When I got it, it might as well have looked like the one that you got from indirectly from your grandfather. And I had to go and I had to get a new strap. I had to get new what are they called spring rods for it, and fixing it up. And so now I've got a real live Patek Philippe. Everything from the buckle to everything of it is authentic now. I didn't have the dial restored; it didn't need it. But the fact that you have taken something that is in one state and moved it to another, I think is really cool. And if you can do it with a Longines, you can do it with an Audemars Piguet or any other watch. There's this wonderful Vacheron Constantin I've had my eye on for years. It's something I think the asking price is $2,700, and they haven't sold it for some reason, and that's okay with me because maybe someday I'll be able to do that. And I'd love to go through some kind of restoration process with it. So anyway, Sameh, just so glad that you let us see your collection. You gave us that wonderful story about your grandfather's watch. All right, now listen. There are 3 watches that I can give away. I can give one of them away at the next time we have a giveaway for the collectors who have sent in their watches for a review. And so what I decided to do this time is that, and this is going to be in April when we have our next giveaway for those who sent in watches. And once you send it in, you're eligible until you win one. Art and let's see who else won. Clark won the first one. All right. So, but everyone knew. So Sameh, and from now on until you win one, you're eligible. For other people, hey, listen, send them in. I'll be glad to do the review for you. Just the only thing I ask, send in good shots. Don't they can be as big as you want, and I'll take care of the part of getting them to the right size and everything. And send in the reference numbers for them. And if you have a wonderful story like Sameh here, send that along too. Okay. Well, listen, we'll see you next Friday when we have our regular video. And if you like, you can subscribe. This is an invitation. So until Friday, this is Bill Sanders and WatchArtSci.